We may be seeing a huge change coming for Social Security in 2024. That is, if it becomes a higher priority for the Biden administration as we wind down to the 2024 presidential election. Now, there's a lot of different bills that have been pushed for Social Security in order to boost Social Security benefits. That's honestly something that many people on Social Security, SSI, and SSDI need right now, especially when you take into consideration the increase that they received from the 2024 COLA increase. Many seniors are saying that this increase wasn't enough since the price of goods really hasn't gone down to a point where many of them can feel comfortable. But now we're in an election year, and many analysts speculate that Social Security will again be a huge driving force for the Biden administration. And I got a lot more insight on that one to share with you guys in this video, but I just want to ask you to take 1 second. If you appreciate the updates, definitely drop a like for the video. I really appreciate that. And I just cannot thank you enough for always sharing my videos. It totally helps out the channel. So I just want to thank you guys so much for that. Now, if you remember back in November 2020, newly elected President Joe Biden, he called on huge changes for Social Security benefits. Experts said that the timing was impeccable because a lot of people agreed that things did need to change. Now, President Biden, he talked about changing the measurement for annual cost of living increases, aka the COLA, for to the Consumer Price Index, the CPI for the elderly, also known as the CPI-E. Now, this could have actually tracked the expenses of retirees much more closely and could have provided a better number for seniors. He also wanted to extend the program's solvency by applying payroll taxes to those who make beyond $400,000 a year. And here we are in 2024, and absolutely nothing has changed. Now, this has infuriated a lot of recipients, especially some of those who rely on Social Security to get by nowadays. Let's not even talk about the extra $2,400 per year Social Security increase that President Biden bragged about, which would have amounted to an additional $200 per month on Social Security checks for most families. However, some lawmakers are now asking again some very important questions. What if there was a way to boost benefits without having to push out more money? So Minnesota Representative Angie Craig may have found the answer to that riddle with the You Earned It, You Keep It Act. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but this legislation sounds pretty good, right? But how does it work? Well, the goal is to eliminate federal taxes on Social Security income, and it could begin as soon as 2025.
A Minnesota Congresswoman has a plan to help ease some of the financial stress on retirees.
Inflation, it's really made a difference in incomes for a lot of people.
The new bill, called the You Earned It, You Keep It Act. Craig says the legislation would eliminate the federal tax on Social Security benefits, giving many seniors on fixed incomes more money in their pockets. Craig says the bill would pay for itself by raising the cap on the Social Security payroll tax. Currently, workers stop paying into Social Security at around $168,000 of their earnings. But under Craig's bill, workers would resume paying the payroll tax at $250,000 and up, which Craig said would shore up Social Security until 2054 and could also reduce the national debt by $9 trillion over 75 years.
So Craig says that the tax cut for seniors will ensure that more of them can depend on Social Security since they earned it. And that's something that many people agree with. The fact is that seniors worked a good chunk of their lives paying for Social Security through the form of taxes on their income. And with that, it's rather unfair to expect taxes to be again withheld on Social Security. This is clearly a form of double taxation, especially now that they're getting some of the money that they've put away into the system taken away. So analysts are very optimistic on the chances of this bill, given that Democrats need a big win for 2024. They need that decisive exclamation point to kind of get people to vote for Biden. So what should we expect with this bill? Eliminating federal income taxes on Social Security retirement benefits could give a lot of retirees a much needed boost. This would greatly assist those that receive other forms of taxable income. That could be from wages or distributions from retirement accounts. Just so you guys know, up to 85% of Social Security benefits are actually taxable at the federal level. Provisions within this bill is expected to help with solvency since it's insured to make full payments until 2054. Now, this is much better than the expectation of Social Security becoming insolvent by 2034 or 2035. That alone would cut benefits by at least 21%. So here's something else that they expect with this bill. Passing this legislation would significantly reduce federal debt over several decades of around $9 trillion. How would it do that? Well, besides eliminating taxes on Social Security benefits, it would also aim to increase taxes on higher income earners. So this means that the higher income earners will be expected to foot the bill for eliminating the federal tax on retirement benefits. Last year, the Social Security payroll tax wage base was at $160,200. The wage base increased in 2024 to $168,600 with this legislation, and the goal is to increase the wage limit to over $250,000. So what this means is that high income earners could pay the 6.2% payroll tax on nearly $100,000 more of their income. It's also important to note here that this bill would only eliminate federal income taxes on Social Security. To date, only 9 states still apply state tax income on Social Security, and that would be Connecticut, Kansas, Montana, New Mexico, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Utah. On paper, this all sounds good and well, but what are the odds that it actually passes, right? Experts say that passing a bill like this would greatly benefit the Biden administration towards re-election. However, it's not going to be easy if not enough bipartisan support's collected. Some analysts believe that the inaction on Social Security would negatively impact President Biden for 2024 re-election. Do you think that that would be the case? I do. Now, of course, this is not the only bill that's out there for trying to provide some more money for Social Security. There's also the Social Security Expansion Act that has been introduced multiple times to Congress by Senator Bernie Sanders. So this bill is one of the more prominent ones, especially since it hopes to provide $2,400 more annually for beneficiaries. It also has a very solid plan to avoid raising taxes on over 93% of American households that earn $250,000 or less. Just like the You Earned It, You Keep It Act, this bill aims to keep solvency a non-issue by having those who make more money pay more money into the program. Now, if the Biden administration can actually pull it off and get Congress to work together for this bill, it would be amazing for his campaign. However, there are already many critics that say that the money is well received, but that this isn't going to change their minds when it comes to who they're voting for. And since we're already talking about Social Security, I want to touch on a topic about the lead watchdog for the administration. Senator Ron Wyden, who serves as the chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, he wants Inspector General Gail Ennis removed from office. Now, if you guys remember, Ennis made waves last year when investigations started because of alleged oversight from the inspector. This was related to a $200 billion disability benefits program that was administered by the Social Security Administration. Ennis missed a change to the anti-fraud program that resulted in insanely huge penalties against more than 100 disabled claimants. The penalties even got to a point where some people were being asked to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, you would think at this point that they would just realize it's just a huge mistake, right? Well, the practice was continued and 2 senior officials who exposed it were sidelined. And now Wyden is again asking for Ennis to be removed. This makes you question, what else is going on with Social Security Administration that we don't know about yet? Something that we do know that's going on over there is the continued clawback of overpayments. This is one issue that analysts say can be faced head on by the Biden administration if they decide to do so. Some say that if the president can forgive billions of dollars in student loans that were voluntarily taken on by the students, mind you, then there should be no problem forgiving a few $1 billion for those on Social Security. It's best to remember that these people were not at fault. They didn't ask for an overpayment, but even so, the mistake of the Social Security Administration is now being pinned on these very same individuals. So does it make sense to forgive these overpayments? And as always, I'm just here to inform you guys and keep you updated on what's going on around us. Before I go, I just want to thank y'all for hanging out. Thanks for dropping a like for the video. Thank you for sharing these videos, and I'll see you on the next one.